So I'm going to show you how you can make a really quick and simple Christmas table display using one of our vintage wooden Indian brick making molds. So that's the mold there, would have traditionally been used for making adobe bricks for houses, and they're still used in India, less so now. So we're going to use one of those. You could also use one of our double-sized brick molds, so it's literally twice the size, at around 55 centimeters long. So we're going to use one of those as our bases, and we're going to make it using simple items that you can either collect from the garden or you can perhaps buy. So we've got holly here, with variegated holly here with the berries just in season. What else have I got? I've got some simple branches from an evergreen tree here. So they're going to stay in the display. What else have I got? I've got some simple cones here as well. They can be bought in packs or they can be collected. And I've got a selection of candles here. Different sizes, different colors, different kind of textures, different finishes. That one there's got a pink hue to it. That's quite a nice big block church candle. And then we've got smaller ones, and you can see I've got some candles here that are a little bit colored. So the first thing to do is to get your brick mold there. Just kind of work out what size candle you might want inside. So I've got a candle, I've literally just popped it in the middle there, as you can see. And then literally just around the edges, around the candle, I'm just going to trying to fix. You'd need a pair of scissors that I've got here to cut your holly. And all you're doing really simply is just placing the holly around. You don't want it poking up like a bush, so you might want it you might need to trim it a little, so you want it to go around the display. This might be very quick to do. Maybe another piece of, let's trim another piece off. A piece with some berries on. If you keep the branches on these stalks quite long, what you can do is to maybe weave them and bend them into place. If you cut them quite short, there's a tendency that they might kind of fall out of the display like that. So I've kept that one quite long, and that one fits in really nicely. And then, really simply, with your scissors, with the evergreen trees, just snip some of the smaller branches off. Again, keep them quite long. So that's quite long. And what you can do is to maybe weave that underneath. That's a little bit long. I'm going to trim that. A little long. The hollies are nicer, so I really want the holly to be seen more, but with little flashes of the evergreen poking out the top and the side. So let's get another long piece. About that kind of length, is about 20 centimeters long. You've got little flashes of the evergreen coming out. Another one here. I'm going to remove some of these because some of the branches, some of the shoots are a little bit long. I think one more might do the trick. Maybe one just on this side. I'm going to try one more on the other side, actually. Something just on this side. And that, I think, is probably it. So it really doesn't take long. If you find your candle is a little bit short, you could get a little piece of wood. That's literally a piece of old pallet. You can get the piece of wood and put it underneath the candle so it lifts the candle up. So if you want the candle to be really visible, then either buy a taller candle, or from the bottom of the brick mold, lift it up by an inch or so with a piece of wood like that. And what you can then do, if you really want to decorate it a little bit further, is maybe just drop one or two cones inside the display like that. And that, I think, is my display finished. And you can see the berries just poking out. So what I will do is bring that over to you over there and just show you my finished item there. So you can see it completely finished. I'll grab the camera and I'll bring it across. And then that can sit in the middle of your table display. You could embellish it with things like ribbons if you wanted to give it a little bit more color. And you can see I've got some pom-poms on string. So you could, if you wanted to, finish it off with something around the edges along there. Really depends on whether you want to keep it more natural and more green looking, or if you want to give it pops of color, then certainly try different colored ribbons and maybe even different colored berries again. So you can see, if I remove everything from here, that's your table display. If you wanted to give it a different color, give it more red, then certainly try a red candle. But it really depends on the color of the leaves that you've got in there. So that's our finished item there. Let me just zoom in. So I'm just going to bring you in and just show you a little bit more about what it looks like. You can see there how I finished it off with the red berries and the variegated leaves just poking out. You can see the cones just in the top there. Let's come around the other side. And there's the finished display. You can see the berries. And the evergreens and the cones just at the top there.